And good evening, everyone, and welcome in to the UFC Fight Cards podcast presented by Orange Fire Media. I'm your host, Russ Renault, and we're coming here live on a Monday night because, frankly, I just wasn't happy about last night's show, and you probably know why if you saw it. So we switched to new software this week and didn't really get a chance to test it out, and so I'm doing a do-over. And so I'm going to do this live tonight, and we're going to try this again. So I appreciate everybody who's watching this for the second time. We're not going to do a live rip tonight. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the hits that we had from last night, and we're going to go through the ones from last week and all the prism that we hit before. But let's get to it. So again, we're live every Sunday night at 9 p.m. right here on YouTube, and we're just doing the one stream tonight. We tried to run 3 at one time. That didn't work out too well, so I'm trying this again, and really appreciate anybody who's out there joining us for the first time. We open cards here every Sunday night, and we've got a box of Donruss next week. We're actually going to be live on Monday next week. That wasn't on the original show because just some technical problems, but with the 4th of July holiday, just got some family stuff to take care of next Sunday. So we're going to be on Monday at 9 p.m. Central next week, and so we're kind of getting used to that time slot. So we're doing that tonight instead. But usually we live rip a box of UFC products. We open a hobby box every single week, and so we've got some boxes of Donruss to go through. We've got 4 boxes of Prism left over. We're going to save for another time, and we'll get to those. And then when Select comes out, which they actually moved up the release date, so it was supposed to release on August 4th, and now it looks like it's going to be July 28th. So we may get one fewer box of Donruss before that Select comes out. So we're really looking forward to that, getting that product in and getting some new stuff. So looking forward to that. And what we usually do on the show is we talk about the fights from the weekend, and then we get into opening cards. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about the fights, and then we'll look at the good cards that we've hit. So let's get to that fight card from this weekend, the fight night from Jacksonville, with the main event being a featherweight matchup between number 5 Josh Emmett and number 9 Topuria. And Topuria was awesome in that fight and just took it to Josh Emmett for 5 rounds and even had a 50-42 on the scorecard. So really did a good job with the boxing, slipping in and out, just taking his shots, not letting Josh Emmett go to work on him at all. And so really a dominant performance for Topuria, and getting really, really close to a title shot. If it's not next, then it's probably not too far away if he has to go through Max Holloway first. I don't know that he really needs to, because once Volkanovski and Yair Rodriguez decide that title, I think Topuria is, one of the next guys in line. And I don't know that anybody needs to go through Max Holloway anymore. I mean, it's just like Volkanovski said, just quit beating up on his contenders. So, I mean, it's not unprecedented to have somebody jump the line, especially when Holloway's faced Volkanovski 3 times already. So I'd like to see something different, and just saying that for that reason. Of course, if Max Holloway, he's earned it. He's been the champion before, so if he earns it again, then he earns it again. Who am I to say we'd all watch it again, I think. One of the great things about that event on Saturday afternoon, we saw a great women's strawweight matchup between number 11 Macy Barber and number 9 Amanda Ribas. And Macy Barber looked fantastic. Once she got her nose busted up a little bit, she tasted that blood and saw the blood on Amanda Ribas, and she went after it and gets the knockout in the second round with those elbows. So Macy Barber, things looking great for her. She's going to move into the top 10 this week as those rankings come out tomorrow. Just a really impressive performance. So what we do on the show is we don't spend a lot of time on the fights themselves, because there are a lot of good UFC podcasts out there with current fighters, former fighters, and they can break these down all day. But we're just kind of going through it as it relates to the trading card hobby and what that means, kind of who's on the rise and who to look out for. And I think Macy Barber is one of those. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the schedule real quick, just kind of hit some of the highlights of the events coming up, and then we'll get into our hobby top 5. We're going to run that back again tonight, and then we'll get into looking at the cards we've hit in the last couple of weeks. So moving on that card on Saturday, a no contest between Austin Lane and Justin Tafa. I like watching the heavyweight division, so that's kind of disappointing to see that one end in a no contest. A really brutal eye poke by Austin Lane, and Justin Tafa could not continue. David Onama was a great knockout over Gabriel Santos in the featherweight division. You saw Brendan Allen, a ranked fighter in the middleweight division, getting a win over Bruno Silva with a submission. Neil Magny defeating Phil Rowe, one of the rookies in the 2023 products, with a split decision. And then go a little bit further down the card, and I think something that the collectors will be interested in is one of the female rookies in this product who everybody's kind of, looking out for now because she's making a name for herself, is 15th ranked Tabitha Ricci, getting a win over Jillian Robertson with a unanimous decision. She looked great doing it, and so looking for big things out of one of the rookies in 2023. So just hitting the highlights coming up next week. We've got on Saturday, we've got fight night from the Apex in Las Vegas. We got middleweight matchup between number 7 Sean Strickland and Abu Smagomedov. Also in the co-main event, lightweight matchup in the top 15 between number 15 Grant Dawson and number 12 Damir Ismagulov. Also just of note, welterweight matchup between Max Griffin, who actually collects his own cards. So it's kind of an interesting thing here for the hobby when those fighters end up in the groups that you're part of. So Max Payne Griffin, that's the way he signs those autograph cards. So really like to cheer for him since he's one of us. He's taking on Michael Morales. And then we get to UFC 290, July 8th, International Fight Week in Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. And like I said, you've got the featherweight championship on the line between the champion Alex Volkanovski and the interim champion Yair Rodriguez. Co-main event is a flyweight championship matchup between Brandon Moreno and Alexander Pantoja, and a great middleweight matchup in the top 5 between number 2 Robert Whitaker and number 5 Dricus du Plessis. And that card's just stacked. You got Jalen Turner and Dan Hooker. You got Bo Nickel against Trayshawn Gore. And then there's just more and more to that card. Not your typical undercard on that one. Fight night July 15th at the Apex, Holly Holm against Mayra Bueno Silva, women's bantamweight top 10 matchup. Fight night July 22nd in London, big win for me. Huge Tom Aspinall fan. He's going to be in the main event against Marcin Tybura in a heavyweight matchup, number 5 against number 10. Molly McCann's on that card. And then we get to UFC 291, July 29th in Salt Lake City. And we got the BMF title on the line, in the lightweight division. Number 2, Dustin Poirier taking on number 3, Justin Gaethje. We've also got Jan Blachowicz taking on Alex Pereira in his light heavyweight debut. Tony Ferguson against Bobby Green in the lightweight division. Just some other ranked matchups, Stephen Thompson and Michelle Pereira. Just a great card there in Salt Lake City. Then we move on to Fight Night, August 5th in Nashville. Number 4, Corey Sandhagen against number 11, Umar Nurmagomedov in the bantamweight division. And another rookie that people are kind of high on, Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Ludovic Klein in the lightweight matchup. Jessica Andrade taking on Tatiana Suarez in women's strawweight division. Interesting matchup there. Fight night August 12th at the Apex. It's going to be headlined by welterweight matchup between number 9, Rafael dos Anjos against number 10, Vicente Luque. Then we get to UFC 292, August 19th in Boston. The bantamweight championship on the line between the champion Aljamain Sterling and second-ranked Sugar Sean O'Malley. Zhang Wei Li putting her title on the line, women's strawweight division against number 4, Amanda Lemos. We got Henry Cejudo against Marlon Chito Vera, Rob Font, Song Yadong, Jeff Neal, Ian Gary. Just a great main card there in Boston. And that was actually the first event that I ever went to, pay-per-view, was in Boston, UFC 220. And that was Stipe Miocic against Francis Ngannou for the heavyweight title, and Daniel Cormier and Volkan Ozdemir in the co-main event for the light heavyweight title, and that ended up being Daniel Cormier winning and Miocic winning. That set up their matchup for the heavyweight title that Cormier obviously went on to win. So just announced last week, we get to August 26th in Singapore. Max Holloway against the Korean zombie Chan Sung Jung. Number 2 against number 7 in the featherweight division. And then a big one in the flyweight division, women's flyweight division, with Tyler Santos, number 3 against number 4, Aaron Blanchfield. Also announced this week, Anthony Smith's going to be taking on Ryan Spann. So those two have some history, and so they'll settle that in Singapore. So a big one for us, September 2nd in Paris. And that's going to be number 1, Cyril Gane against number 8, Sergey Spivak in the heavyweight division. Just announced this week, women's flyweight matchup, number 2, Manon Fiorot against Rose Namajunas, making her flyweight debut. And why I said that was a big one for us is because our favorite fighter, my favorite fighter, who is the only Baylor Bear to ever compete in the UFC, and that's why she is my favorite fighter. So we're behind her all the way. Haley Cowan will be making her return to the octagon against Zara Farian, women's bantamweight matchup. So we're going to be on Haley's fight shirt. We're going to sponsor that, and so hopefully along with a whole bunch of other people, and we look forward to that. And looking forward to Haley getting back in there and see if she can pick up that first win in the UFC. So then we continue on. So we know September 9th is in Sydney, UFC 293, but we do not know the main event yet. Do know Kai Kara France is going to take on Manel Cape. And then Fight Night, September 16th from T-Mobile Arena. And this is big for a fight night. Rumored main event is for the women's flyweight championship between the champion Alexa Grasso and the former champion, number 1 ranked contender Valentina Shevchenko. So that is our run through the UFC schedule for tonight. Now we can get into some of our other features here on the show. So we like to take a look every week at the top 5 fighters in the hobby, who people are collecting, who people are paying a lot for in breaks, paying a lot for on eBay and elsewhere. We have an eBay store. It's called Orange Fire Lots of Lots. You can find a lot of the stuff that we open on the show on there. You can also just reach out to me directly. You can find me, Russ, at orange-fire.com or at FightCardsRuss or at Orange Fire Media on Twitter. And on Facebook, just Russ Renault, Reneau, and Orange Fire Media. So find me any of those places. If you see something you like, you hear something you like, if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, you can come back and see the card, and maybe you're interested in it. Just reach out to me, send me a message on the show, however you want to get in touch with me, and we'll work something out, because that's what we're here for. We're not doing a break. We want people to just come in, and if you see something, you want it, then you come and get it. So I don't want you to have to spend a whole lot of money on a break that you got very low odds of getting something good out of. So that's what we're here for, and that's what I want to do. So let's take a look this week, and we will go into our hobby top 5. Let's take a look at that now. So now we get to the big star of the show, not me, but these cards. So let's take a look at what we've hit lately. I'll let you know what we hit last night if it's in here. Let's take a look at the Prism first, because we did not open Prism last night. We've opened 8. We've got 4 left, so we'll be holding on to those last 4 for some other time. We'll either do if there's a lag in a product release date, then we'll open them then, or we'll just save them for the end of the year and we'll just have a big show. So we've got a few autographs that we've redeemed already, just waiting on them to come in at this point. And so we've got a BJ Penn from Prism. Also got an Israel Adesanya from Prism. Then we had a pretty big run on these legendary signatures. So we've got a Matt Hughes, we've got the red, and we've got the base. And we'll be opening one of those boxes of Donruss next week, Monday at 9 p.m. Central, not Sunday next week. So we've got the Matt Hughes. I like to keep these together, just a base card. If you buy those, you usually end up getting a lot more cards than what you get from me. So I've still got this Bryce Mitchell Mojo, one of the best ones we have left. Also got a Blue Wave, green Dominators. Got this Andrea Lee teal, number to 49. Kind of holding on to that for our boy John Eisner. See if he wants that. If he doesn't have that one, then we'll let it go. But hanging on to that for him for right now till I hear back. Actually, I've only said it on the show. So John, if you're catching this week, then that's all yours if you want it. Marvin Vettori teal. It's also number to 49, of course, and silver to go with it. Got a lot of Tabitha Ricci rookie cards, and got an orange, number to 99. Haven't listed that one yet. Haven't figured out what we want to do with that one yet, but holding on to it. Ruby Wave. Then we've got 5 base rookie cards of Baby Shark. Also got Sergey Pavlovich orange, Blue Wave. Tough Luck Loser, tough guy from this weekend, Josh Emmett in the main event. Orange and a Blue Wave of him as well. Brandon Moreno purple. Israel Adesanya purple. We'll hang on to that one, not list that one until we get that auto in. We'll put those together. If you're a Volkan Ozdemir fan, got something for you. Got a blue of 175, a red of 199, and got a pink ice from last year, 2022. Jorge Masvidal blue. Got Lucas Almeida blue, rookie in this year's product, also Ruby Wave. Also got the silver Lucas Almeida. And we've got a pretty good run here of Chidi Njokuani. A lot of color here. So blue of 175, Blue Wave. Got a Hyper and silver of Chidi Njokuani. And Cyril Gahn blue. Vicente Luque blue. Robert Whitaker red, 199. Got 2 of Song Yadong red, and Ruby Wave. Then got a few Yair Rosenstrike, got the red. Got the Cracked Ice. Got the Ruby Wave. And then we get to Said Yakub Kakramanov. Easy for me to say, red of 199. Then our last 2 reds. Corey Sandhagen. And Houston area product. I'm in the Houston area, so like our Houston area fighters, Lauren Murphy. Other ones in my area, Alex Morono is pretty close. Don't have anything of him right now. But here we go with what we've hit out of Donruss. There's going to be a few Prism in here, just some stuff that I've put together and kept kind of close. So starting off with, we still got this Brian Ortega gold auto, numbered to 10, so it's number number 5 of 10. And we've also got a base auto from Prism of Brian Ortega. Got a few Brian Ortega cards that we'd throw in there if anybody wants those. Like I said, if you buy something from me, you usually end up with more than one card. You get pretty much whatever else I have of that fighter. That's why we call it Orange Fire Lots of Lots on eBay, because you're going to end up with more cards unless I only have one. So I did sell the Tank Abbott auto that we pulled this week, and the only card I had was that Tank Abbott auto. We did get a pretty good redemption last night when we pulled this. Mohamed Mokaev rookie signature. So don't know if I'll sell the redemption card or go ahead and redeem it. Haven't decided yet. We'll figure that out. Got this last night with a pretty uneven cut there at the top. But Mateus Nicolau red laser. We also got a couple of silvers that we could add in there. I think I have a tricolor of Mateus Nicolau somewhere. There's a Johnny Walker red. Michel Pereira silver. We also, I don't have it here because I kind of held on to it and put it away, but I also got a Tracy Cortez silver. Here are our memorabilia cards with Daniel Rodriguez Octagon Royalty and Octagon Canvas. Got a Jeff Neal. Then we get into our rookies. So those are all of the numbered memorabilia auto cards, but these are the rookies that we have. And really a lack of variety last night in these rookie cards, because as you'll see here, we kind of hit all the ones that we got last week, except for this Bo Nickel. So that was a good one for last night. But just we pulled another Alex Pereira last night. You can see that in I think those are my other stack. But we do have Aaron Blanchfield. Got the Jailton Almeida purple last night. But we've got 2 Meatball Mollies, 2 Chris Curtis, 2 Fluffy Hernandez, 2 Chris Barnett, 2 Amanda Lemos, and 2 Andre Petrosky. So we got basically all the same rookie cards except for the Almeida purple and the Bo Nickel last night. But at least we got the Bo Nickel, so we got that out of the way. So we're on here tonight because I messed up last night, and I own that, and I wanted to redo the show because I wanted to put out a better show than we did last night, and hopefully going forward that it just gets better, and it should, because this new software just took a night to get used to it and see what went wrong. But with this software, we have the ability to have guests on now. And so I'm glad we did not have anybody lined up last night. That would have been even more of a disaster. So we do have some people we're talking to get on now that we have that ability, and we'll be working on that this week. And hopefully we'll have somebody on this coming Monday. Like I said, this week's show will be on a week from today. We'll be on Monday just for the 4th of July holiday. I just can't make it work on Sunday. So we'll be back Monday night, 9 p.m. Central, right here on YouTube. Same place every week, youtube.com/@UFC Fight Cards. And I'm Russ Renault, and I appreciate you stopping by, hopefully for a second time. If it's your first time, we're just going to make it better every week. And we love your suggestions. You can get in touch with me, Russ, at orange-fire.com, or just leave me a question, a comment in the chat, and I usually respond. So if it's something positive, if you don't have anything good to say, we can talk about that too. But really appreciate it, and hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And we will see you again next time right here on the UFC Fight Cards podcast, presented by Orange Fire Media.